And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to day number 1 of the Masters Coliseum 6 Group A. I'm, of course, just live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the lovely plushies alongside me and the people in the chat as well. This is the day one, the first day here of a massive event. We have been building up towards this the entire year through World Team League, through Kung Fu Cup. We've been building up points. The players have been building up points throughout so many months, and it all comes down to this. The players have since been invited. A month ago, we also casted and covered the qualifiers, so check out the VODs. They are currently on Twitch from all the qualifiers that we did cover, and I think we actually covered every single region, including the European region as well. So a lot of qualifiers were had. Players made it through. Some did, some did not. Was a little bit heartbreaking to see certain players not make it into the main event. But here we have the best of the best, and we have 7 best of 3s ready for you. We are aware that apparently there is a lot of stuttering going on the clean feed. That is out of our control, out of our hands. I believe the organizers are aware of it. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that they're able to fix it and they're able to sort that out. We'll see. We may have to try to come up with a different solution as well. We may try to go in game and just scrap the idea of the clean feed and everyone just goes in, or something else. We'll see. As for now, we have our first matchup. We have an insane matchup. It is going to be Serral versus Maru. A ZVT, the best, arguably the best Zerg and Terran player in the world right now, are going to be facing off, and oh boy, it's a very spicy matchup. Again, hopefully any kind of stuttering issues resolved before we get into the game, because it would be such a shame if the game were impacted negatively by the stuttering issues, but we'll see. We shall see. Again, it's going to be a best of 3, not a best of 5. And the way the groups work, just to go over the formats a little bit, is round robin. Round robin group stage. Massive groups are before us, and we're going to be live every single day for the next 2 weeks with the group stage and then the playoffs of Masters Coliseum. So plenty of StarCraft ahead of us. I mean, we're live every day anyway. We're always live every day casting some StarCraft. But we are diving in and spawning in the top left-hand corner for Babylon. In Babylon, it is Serral. Oh. And in the bottom right-hand corner for Onside Gaming, it is Maru. And unfortunately, yeah, the stuttering issues are still there. Again, it is a little bit out of our hands, and oh, are we good? No, not quite. So yeah, we'll do our best. We'll do our best here. Again, there are plenty of other streams going on right now, but everyone is casting from the clean feed. Everyone is casting from the same source, and alas, the source does seem to have some issues. Nonetheless, an amazing match is being held, and the players are not being negatively affected by this either. So we'll do our best to bring you the coverage uninterrupted. So far, Maru is going for that low ground racks. Now, what is really interesting here is that he's not going for a low ground 2 racks. Despite, you know, the popularity of the 2 racks opener, despite the popularity of the Beyond opener, Maru is not going for that. He is going for something a little bit different here. And we have seen a lot of variations over the past couple of months on this, and yeah, instead is going for a Rax Expand. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the special opener. As special, he does actually go for the low ground factory alongside that Rax. But we can see we have a delay on the wall. We're going for the CC instead behind this. And yeah. We're actually getting word from all the other casters, like Wardy, Pig, Harstem. Everyone is like, guys, we can't cast. It's what's So yeah, I'm pretty sure the organizers are aware, but Smurge, Papi Smurge. We'll do our best. Oh, we may be never mind. We may be casting from a different clean feed. Okay, so okay, so Kura, if you wish, for now, you can try to use the audio from the clean feed, and you can use the stream potentially of the Chinese feed, which has been linked. That may be a better solution right now. A little bit less than ideal because I think the Chinese feed has their Twitch chat on screen, but that may be a better way. That may be a better way. As for now, we're getting into our openers. It does seem to be a 2-1-1 setup here from Maru, as I believe the second racks and Starport was thrown down. Yeah, production's working on it. Production's working on it. Oh, meanwhile, back across the map, Serral, of course, we are on Babylon. A bit of a more aggressive map in nature, is going for his third hatchery. You do have a Roach Warren on the way. So interesting here. We're going to be going very Roach heavy. We have seen a lot of this from Serral on this map specifically. On Babylon. Again, the reason for this is just to be a little bit more defensive early on, a little bit more lava efficient as well, just to survive and get into the game in a bit of a better position. Behind this, he typically goes into an infestation pit and into fast infestors. Doesn't necessarily have to commit to a big 1-1 Roach timing. Meanwhile, across the map, ooh, interesting variation here with the 2-1-1. Again, this is very unique to Maru. He does this relatively often, where he intentionally delays medevac production despite having 2 racks, of course, marine production here. It looks like we are heading in game. Okay. So for game 2, we are not going to be using the clean feed, as we are heading over in game. Girl, so okay. Hopefully we can meet in game, as the Marines are pushing on out. So again, this is a really interesting variation from Maru. Again, he delays medevac production in favor of Banshees, and the Banshees are designed here to catch Serral off guard, to catch him out of position, and hopefully without any spore crawlers. Oh no! Oh no! As we do have quite some technical issues here. And I think we may end up going on a short break here. I'm pretty sure the Chinese stream, they're just trying to restart their feed, and try to get everything going again. So we are going to be. Oh, are we back? Okay, we're back. As the Banshee dips into the bases, has been revealed here. It looks like we missed out on a little bit of the game itself. But oh, no. I was like, are we good? Not quite, as the Marines are just banking up back at home. The Banshee was revealed, and is again dancing between the bases, looking to distract his opponent. The drop is going to be moving out across the map, and just making sure we're in game. Oh, right, the America server. I'm in the wrong place. As the double drop is moving out again, because of the initial Banshee, I do think Serral is going to be a little bit underprepared for this. He's still working on 1-1, still building up a massive Roach army. And we'll see if Maru can get anything done here with this double drop. Another big downside here of the build here of Maru is that he doesn't have as many tanks to defend. Yeah, the stream has gone down. So we are going to be going on a short break. Hopefully when we return, we have resolved our issues, and hopefully we can catch the tail end here of game 1. We apologize for the inconvenience, but we'll see you guys soon. We will see you guys soon. And we apologize for the delay. We are back. We have returned, and we have gotten the Chinese feed working for the time being. We're going to do our best to really bring you all the action. So far, we did see a 1-1 Roach timing out of Serral as the follow-up to the 2-1-1 of Maru. Serral wasn't able to break on through, though. He was applying a lot of pressure to the fourth base. He was denied, and from there, he has transitioned into Lurkers. From that point, though, we can see Serral is heading towards Broodlords as well, as the game is going on much longer than expected. So again, bear with us, as for the next game, we are going to be getting into the lobbies themselves. Until then, though, we do see Serral just again vying for map control, just trying to keep Maru pinned back. Maru, in the midst of expanding and taking his 5th base towards the top right hand corner of the map. The Broodlords, they have been revealed. They have arrived, and the ghosts are going to be quite threatening to them already as well. So, Serral, he does have to be careful here with said Broodlords. Maru already getting up into that ghost production, already ready for the counter to said Broodlords. Of course, a finesse here to the army itself, as the Broodlords are going to be pushing on forward. I also have to make sure I'm synced up with Kuro, actually. Oh god. Ah. As yeah, the Broodlords are going to be pushing on through, going to be looking to break this position as well. The tanks are being focused down. The ghosts are forced back as well. Something to bear in mind is throughout all of this, we do have Thors and Vikings in production, so the armor of Maru is becoming a little bit more refined over time. And yeah, Serral has to be careful as he is lacking quite a lot of anti-air. The Queens are doing the best they can to keep those Broodlords alive, and we haven't teched up into any other spellcaster yet. Just having a look at the units lost tab here, just at how many Vipers we've already lost, but no Infestors, just Lingbane, Broodlord, Queen for the time being. I'm trying to sync up. I don't know if we can. Okay. We're good. So yeah, Serral right now was trying to vie for control, trying to deny the 5th base, but the 5th is now up and running. We even have a 6th on the way for Maru before that can really come into play. The Lingbane is rolling on forward. The turrets are not done yet, and the Broodlords are pushing on through. Again, if Serral had waited even a second longer here, then yeah, things would have gotten out of hand. But Maru is forced back, and I don't know if he's going to be able to really establish that 6th base. I don't actually think Serral has seen it yet, as so far he isn't really contesting that area, is being forced back. And yeah, there we go. Now he's rotating towards that planetary. Is going to be getting quite a lot of damage on that, forcing a reaction out of Maru. Serral has already remaxed. He's waiting here on the high ground with his Lingbane, waiting to dive on those ghosts if they ever overextend. But now we have the Thors on the way. The Vipers, looks like they do have enough energy for a blinding cloud. The tanks once again getting in position again. This is a really precarious position for Maru. It's so wide open. It's so out in the open. As the nuke does zone back the army. Broodlord's pushing on forward, taking down another one of those tanks. If the ghosts ever overextend, we do have those infestors ready. Big tank volleys are going off. Blinding clouds cover the tanks once again, and Serral's going to be able to dive on this army, cleans up the majority of it. The ghosts, they do survive. They do manage to kite back, and they will escape the clutches of those banelings. Serral, he does have to be careful not to overextend. Has been bleeding out quite a lot here, but there are no longer any tanks for Maru. We have so many Lings in production. Once they arrive, Serral is going to be looking to collapse on this army once again and go for that surround. Big fungal EMP not quite connecting, and yeah, Maru has to back off. He doesn't have any tanks behind this. And as he's being forced back, it looks like that 6th base is going to be denied. SV is doing the best they can to repair. Thors are coming in, but the planetary goes down. Oof. Oh my god, big fungal on the ghost. Not enough to capitalize on it, but a massive fungal nonetheless. That Broodlord count is getting very low as Serral is transitioning into a more Hydra-based army. Maru lifting up one of his orbitals, immediately trying to reclaim control of that 6th. Meanwhile, Maru has every other base on the map. It's all about controlling the 6th base for Maru. And Serral just has to deny it. And again, like, this is just a really awkward base to expand to, and Maru, he's having a hard time establishing himself here. As he brings forward Liberator's tanks. We do have a ring of turrets getting ready, getting set up. But once again, before they can finish, we do have Blinding Clouds. We do have the Lingbane rolling in. It's going to be close. It looks like the Thors will stand strong. The Ghosts as well. As Maru is forced back. But we can see... Sorry, as Serral is forced back. But we can see Maru plummet in the supplies. He is hurting a lot after that. And he's running out of a bank. There's a reason why he cannot remax. He cannot rebuild. He doesn't have the money for it. Meanwhile, Serral does. He has a massive bank to work with. He remaxes once again. Is going to be losing some of his infestors. but he's collapsing on these Thors. And it looks like if Maru loses this position, I don't think he's going to be able to rebuild. For now, though, he's holding on. Oh, the Broodlord's actually rotating towards the south instead, almost killing an orbital. A nice rotation from Serral, forcing a big reaction out of Maru. Serral, he's just waiting to gather up energy here on his Vipers. Looking for one more fight. And Maru, he has to take the engagement. Like, there's no turning back from here. And unfortunately, he just can't remax. He's down in the army supply, down in the economy. The ghosts are being pulled back here because of these lings, which means that they won't be available for that main fight. Now, as we do see Serral threatening to dive on that position. Broodlords rotating even more south towards the main, trying to punish some of the production. Maru has been able to get his sixth base back up and running, but here we go. Serral comes in from behind. Big blinding clouds on those tanks. Looks like we don't have enough Ling Bane, though. As Maru is holding on. Again, Serral, he was only coming in from one angle. So not the best engagements here from Serral. And Maru, he gains ground. He takes down a base. Very nicely done here by Maru. Again, he's clawing his way back into this. Still doesn't have a bank. Still barely holding on with his economy. But we can see that Serral, he's trying to do a good job here at just abusing the fact that Maru doesn't have a lot of supply to work with. Big Link counterattack takes down the mineral line. 7 SCVs fall. Forces back a lot of the ghosts. Yeah, and that does expose the sixth base. There just isn't enough supply for Maru to defend both locations at once. He's just being spread too thin. But he's also counterattacking, to be fair. He just took down one mining base of Serral, and he's going to take down another. Is going to go down, and Maru, he's not stopping. He's not slowing down. Serral not in position as he's going to lose another hatchery. Good moves here from Maru, as we do see both players kind of just trading base locations. Serral is expanding towards the north, and Maru is, I imagine, going to attempt to expand here towards the south. And this is going to be a much more defensible position here for Maru. Oh, there is a cheeky infestor behind the army. Uh-oh. Maru has to be very wary of that, or he has to be careful to keep his army split. But again, I do think, especially because of the high ground, this is going to be an easier base for Maru to hold on to. As both players are maxing out. Meanwhile, Serral transitioning back into Broodlords. We have 11 Corruptors on the way. And as you can see, just because of the Ling Bane Hydra composition that Serral has been showing, this is kind of the power of Zerg in this position. Serral, he's kind of hard switching his army composition to Broodlords. Maru doesn't have a lot of Thors. He has mainly tanks with his army. So a big Broodlord switch can catch Maru off guard. He still has ghosts, to be fair. Like, I mean, ghosts, that they're good against everything. But to support them, they don't have as much anti-air. As Maru is getting that base up and running. Likewise, so is Serral re-expanding towards the north. What's also important is that this base that Maru is taking does have less resources just because Serral has been mining from it for such a long time. So not the most valuable base for Maru. As there it is, the Broodlord switch is upon us. 11 Broodlords are being morphed in. I think there's only 2 Thors, maybe 1 Thor with the main army of Maru. Scan does miss the Broodlords as Maru is still making tanks. Does get a kill on the hatchery. That wasn't a cancel. But the Broodlords are getting ready to push in. Serral looking to go for one fell swoop. Now, what does he go for? He could try to go for top right, but he's pushing through more of the center of the map instead, just clearing up an area. and taking down the turrets. And Maru will be losing the space. Again, there's only a couple of mineral patches, so Maru, he can afford to lose it. As he's taking another fresh mining base. I mean, I say fresh. Another mining base towards the south. Oh, the ghosts are not here. It looks like they were distracted by the Broodlords, and tanks are going down to Ling Run by. Aye, aye, aye. 2 tanks will fall. The ghosts have it repositioned, but Maru does pay a price for it. As he's bringing everything over. Again, 2 Thors with the army. Even spore crawlers are being brought forward. It looks like this hatchery is going to be going down. The Hellbat's doing a great job of just zoning back the forces here of Serral. So trying to find a better angle of attack. Oh, he doesn't go for it. Maru backs off. Again, really patient play here from Maru. You love to see it. But that Ling Run by, it did do a lot. It didn't just get the tanks, getting turrets as we speak, denying another base. And it looks like this Ling counterattack has pulled back the main army of Maru, and once again that exposes top right, and the Broodlords are coming back in. But for the first time in a long time, actually, Maru has maxed out. He has reached a maxed out army. And the planetary should fall at this point. But again, there's only a couple of patches left. Not the most important base. As Maru is more focused with expanding towards the south. Oh, it looks like Serral, he was gunning, he was sharking for those ghosts. Hoping to pull them out of position. Meanwhile, Maru is getting a lot of economic damage done. 7 workers go down. We have a Hellbat army pushing in towards the bottom left. Taking down another base. Likewise, not really a lot of mining going on here, so not the most important base for Serral. But if Maru is able to get this planetary up and running, that's going to be huge. Speaking of Banelings, they roll in, they take down the Hellbats. Oh, the Medivacs have a little bit of miscontrol, do head into the Hydra army. And once again, Maru does lose a massive chunk of his supply. Ghosts are going to be zoning Serral back. But he has Remax. We now have more Thors. Because it's been a while since the Broodlords revealed themselves, we have more Thors in the army here of Maru. Ghosts are being pulled over. Do we have a fungal available here as the ghosts are going for the snipes? Ooh. And there it is, a massive fungal on the ghosts, a chain fungal as well, and that is going to be a massive loss for Maru. That may just be it. The majority of his ghosts go down. That was the lifeblood here of Maru's army. 1 fungal was all it took. And to be fair, there were multiple fungals, just keeping the army locked down. We still have a couple of ghosts left, but here we go. The Lingbane is rolling in. Blinding clouds cover the tanks. We even have some Neurals on the Thors as well, and Serral is going to collapse on this position, takes down the base. A couple of ghosts will survive in that medevac. But that was an efficient fight for Serral. 18 SCVs go down. And Serral can remax. Again, he has a bank. Maru does not. He's been starved out this entire game, fighting for his 5th, fighting for his 6th. He essentially has 1 mining base, half a mining base. That 1 infestor still behind, still behind the mineral line, waiting for its moments. We see Maru scanning, just recognizing how dire the situation is. Is there a chance here for Maru? I mean, he can try and obviously turtle up and slowly reclaim control of that base on the left hand side. But Serral will be the first to max out. He doesn't have a bank of his own, to be fair. Serral is also strapped for cash. Oh, as the infestor goes down. The infestor finally falls behind the mineral line. But But again, Serral is edging closer and closer. He's banking up his minerals and gas, waiting for the corruptors to finish up before he goes into broodlords. Just making sure he has the resources to build those broodlords. And there we go. 5 broodlords are in production. Serral long distance mining. He's going to take some big tank shots to the face. Does have to be careful. Again, Maru does have a more efficient army. He's got tanks. He's got ghosts. He does have efficiency on his side. So Maru does have to take this slow and steady. He does have to be careful. He could still lose a fight. And in this kind of economic situation, neither player can afford to lose too much. Even Serral. As the broodlords are pushing forward. So far, a decent fungal on some of those units. The broodlords are able to shave off a couple of Mars army. A couple of Mars units in his army. As the fungal connects on one ghost, and hey, every ghost counts. Every ghost matters. As Serral is mining top right. Spreading his creep. We can see Maru, I imagine, going to start, long distance mining as well. Doing whatever he can. But at this point, I do think it's going to be a foregone conclusion. As Serral, he's up almost 80 supply. A lot of that is army supply. Oh, yeah, SCVs are exposed. We do have a lot of Hellbats in the back line. And here we go. Serral, he does pull the trigger. Big blinding clouds onto the tanks. The ghosts are being pulled back. And there's just too much Zerg. Serral is forced back for the time being, but again, Maru, he just plummets even further in the supplies. The broodlords survive. The Hydras as well, the Infestors. Serral only really losing Ling Bane. And he's even mining from the same base. They're both trying to mine, Poppy. They just want some money. They're just trying to survive. As the spores are even focusing down the orbital, something you don't see too often. Oh, a massive mule hammer on that CC, but the broodlords are within range. Fungals lock down the mules. It looks like they get one trip in, but only one trip of the minerals. Yeah, and Maru, he's not going to get this up and running. Bit of a greedy, a desperate move from Maru, but at this stage of the game, in this game state, it's all he can do. As the orbital is burning down, Maru, he can't even afford to repair it. He has to. And here we go, Serral coming in for one final fight. Once again, blinding clouds on all the tanks. The ghosts are being pulled back and they are being preserved, but the base goes down, and that's all that really matters. Serral doesn't have to force the issue. A couple of his broodlords do get sniped, to be fair. But he got a kill on the orbital. He got a kill. He reset the tank counts. He is now at double the supply here of Maru. More infestors are on the way. Again, energy-based units are what we have to rely on right now. Maru once again low distance mining. He's gonna get some queens. Not too bad. I would love to see the units tab right now, but big yoinks on the ghosts. Whatever we can get. Yoinks coming in on the tanks as well. GG gets called. And Serral will take game number 1. And meanwhile, we have a lobby. We're diving into game number 2. Ooh, but that was intense. That was a long one from Serral. Jesus. It did go the distance. for a long time, Serral was in control, and it was really a game of the game devolved in a way, or evolved, depending on how you look at it, to a game of Maru just trying to get a base, trying to establish a CC and get a base up and running. Initially, it was the 5th, and then it was the 6th. And he just really couldn't. Serral was doing a great job at denying bases left and right, at taking bases for himself and prioritizing mining in those locations. And yeah, Maru, he was just being starved out. Was just being starved out. And now we're getting ready for our next game. I'm listening to the clean feed. To the music, I should say. I love the music. I appreciate that that we've been incorporating some of the J-pop, some of the Japanese music from the anime games. It's beautiful. We actually got confirmation earlier. So when we were casting WTL, Asher and I, we were like, yo, this sounds like DDR music or like Initial D or something. And we did get confirmation earlier at the start of the stream that some of the music, as we were loading in, as we were going for the countdown timer, is actually from the Hypergriff game. So it makes sense. From Arknights. So the playlist may just be like the Arknights OST. Amazing. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But here we go. We're going to be getting ready for game number 2. As a reminder, this is a best of 3 series between Serral and Maru. Serral, of course, having a 1-0 lead. Yo, we got a lot of casters. We're all coming in. Shout out to the other language stream. Shout out to Indie casting in Polish. Shout out to Rex in Taiwanese. Of course, TKL or the French casters. Korean casters, and of course the English casters as well, as we are loading in game 2 on Neo Humanity. I just realized what we're loading into. And if you enjoyed a split map scenario where the map was being mined out and we were turtling up, well then, I got a map for you. We may see something very similar on this map as well. I'm shaking my head. And here we are, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neo Humanity. We have the Finnish Zerg player representing Team Basilisk. It is Serral. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player currently down in this series, but not out. Representing Onside Gaming, it is Maru. And you love it to see it. Serral is going to be going for a 15 hatch. This has become a popular opener on this map specifically. To make sure not just that you get your base up and running. I wonder if Serral is going to go gasless. We have seen this very often from Dark on Neo Humanity, delaying his gases and going for the linear third base in a very fast fashion. I wonder if we're going to be seeing something similar here from Serral. As it stands, going for a hatch pool opener like this does also mean that Serral has access to faster queens and faster lings. So this is a very safe opener, very reminiscent of the ZVP openers that we see as well, to make sure the natural does get up and running. Meanwhile, across the map, Maru is going for that 2-rack opener. We didn't see that in game 1, but we're seeing it here in game number 2. You do love to see it. Again, for those wondering, both Maru and Björn did work on this opener themselves quite some time ago. They were both flaunting it in DreamHack Atlanta. Of course, Björn kind of turned it into his own. Maru, though, again, is also going to be adopting it, as they are good friends, and they both have, in a big way, put a lot of work into refining the 2-racks. The Björn opener. Love to see it. As the Reapers are going to be on the way. Serral back at home, not going gasless. Does go for a hatch pool gas opener. So again, very safe here out of Serral. Earlier queens. Reapers are going to be moving out. And there should only be 3 Reapers for the time being. The follow-up is really what I'm concerned about, what I'm really curious about. Are we going to go for a 4-axe, a 3-axe into a third base, a 2-1-1? There is a lot of variety available here for Maru as the Reaper does dive in and does not get a kill on that drone. Very quick reaction here out of Serral. Is forcing some spores. But Serral does hold on. And behind this, we have our transition, so it's not a 4-axe, it's not a 3-axe. There is a factory on the way. We should be heading into a third CC behind this. Cure is very fond of this variation, going for a 2-axe into a fast third. There it is. Third CC is on the way. So very economic. The Reapers are just designed to get map control, going to be dancing between the bases. Ooh, but good control here from Serral. Good target firing as he takes down one of the Reapers. That should not be happening. And as the Reapers get pushed away, we have a very fast lair. Oh my god, what? Like what? 3-minute 15, a 3-minute 10 lair? Jesus. This is insane. Gases are being taken. This is a 2-base all-in. Mineral patches, they are being mined, and Serral, he can eventually expand, of course, but to rush into a lair this quickly is really suspect. Roach Horn was thrown down behind the mineral line. I imagine this is going to be a Roach Rush with Roach Speed. This could also be Nidus play. Yep. We do have the reactor in production. We should be seeing an add-on swap here for some medevacs. But we'll see if Maru does decide to go for Helium production instead, or even Widow Mines with his own variation that he did reveal at GSL. As the Reapers are denied entry into the main, they do not scout the lair. Yep, there it is. Roach Speed is in production. And Serral is even taking the center base as his third. A very aggressive base. With this, you can spread creep very quickly across the map. And it is going to be that GSL variation. We actually haven't seen too many other Korean Terrans do this, but Serral, he is not going for Hellions, but going for Widow Mines instead. Because he doesn't go for the add-on swap, he only has one medevac, and he's going to be going for a mine drop while pushing out with these Marines. Meanwhile, the Roaches are about to reveal themselves. Good stutter stepping here from Maru. He's looking for a cancel on this base. Up! It's gonna be close! Ooh, does force a cancel. Whew. Very nice control there from Maru. Just barely able to force a cancel on that hatchery. And that is gonna slow down the creep as well as the larva and production of Serral. But he's still not droning. He's staying here on 44 workers. And he's gonna be committing here to his push. Meanwhile, here comes the mine drop. The mine drop is moving out. This hasn't been scouted. Serral, he didn't see the main base. We'll see how quickly he can react here and if he can preserve his workers to this mine drop. And here we go. We do have the drop into the main. Boys have to reaction so far out of Serral, as he only loses one of his drones. A mine drop heading towards the natural base as well, looking for even more damage. Meanwhile, Serral is focusing on his attack. Oh, the drones! They're being chased down, and we're going to get a massive connection. 6 workers go down at the same time. Here comes that big all-in from Serral. Tank production has been delayed. There is only one tank available. We have a contamination on the factory. You love to see it. To slow down additional tanks. Their axes fall. East Engineering Base just create some SimCity. But Serral is pushing in. Another. Can we get the chain contamination? Up. Give, Bobby, give. As we're denying 1-1, eBays are going down. There it is. There's the contamination on the factory once again. Denying any kind of factory production, any more tanks. 1 is all Maru has. The SCVs, the boys are being pulled. 23 workers go down. And this may just be too much. As the tank is exposed, and it will fall. GG gets called. Serral takes down Maru 2-0. Oh my god. GG. What a showing. What a performance. Now, what I find really interesting is that This is something that we've been seeing a lot recently. And what I mean by that is, as I believe we are heading over to the European server for the next series. But what I mean by that is that Dark and now Serral, they have been going for these roach timings specifically against this opener, against this 3cc 2-on-1 variation of the Beyond opener. And the reason for that is because of tank production, is because your tanks are so delayed. You're going for Hellions, you're going for Widowmines, you're going for these add-on swaps as well. Maru, he was able to recognize what was happening ahead of time. He was able to recognize what was happening and react and get his first tank out. But you saw how late it or how long it took to get into those tanks and to really muster up an army. Without tanks, you can't really defend against that. I should also say a shout out to Serral for successfully hiding that build for as long as he did and giving Maru as little time to react as possible. And GG, well played. Just like that, we have our first series in the books, and Serral starts off here with a very big win, a very powerful win here from Serral. Looking at today's matchups, as again, we can at least use the clean feed to have a look at, what's happening in between games. We can see we have 6 more matches ahead of us. Up next is a PvP between Showtime and MaxPax. Oh, let's go, Poppy. Let's go. And yeah, it is going to be that PvP Showtime versus MaxPax. The best PvP that we have to offer in the European region. They are the top 2 Protoss players in all of Europa, and here they are looking to face off. I'm actually really curious what the history is between these two. I kind of want to give MaxPax the edge overall, but that could just be some like recency bias, just because we have been seeing MaxPax pop off so many times. But, well, let me just double check. Oh, interesting. Okay, quickly looking at some of the numbers, at some of the stats, at the history between MaxPax and Showtime. It is a 60% win rate. 60% win rate here for MaxPax in this year, in 2023. So, is in favor of MaxPax, but not a dominant kind of performance here. 60-40 is still relatively close, and actually, most recently, Showtime did beat MaxPax at the Warty TV Summer Party. So, yeah, clearly we have seen a big back and forth between these two players, and it could still go either way. And every match counts. This is round robin, and the matches don't get easier. I say that maybe for Serral. It's possible. Maybe for Serral, as he did bring down his opponent earlier, and he brought down Maru. I don't know if you can get harder than Maru, to be honest, at least when it comes to the Terrans. But we are going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break here while we set up the lobby, while we get the players prepared, and when we return, we will have that PvP. See you soon.